Section 9. First, the Jew, their beliefs in general. And now for my introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Kyriakos Michalaikis. My friends call me Kiri, and I'm a sinner. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 20. For there is not a just man upon earth that doeth good, and sinneth not. 1 John 1 verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. I'm not a preacher, a dominee, a papa, a pastor, or a teacher, but I'm a student. In this section, section 9 that is, I will discuss the title, The First, the Jew, their beliefs in general. Jews believe in Judaism, as I have discussed earlier on. They believe in the Tanakh, or in Christian language, in the Old Testament. This is their main canon. Judaism is a monotheistic religion. They believe that God created the universe and continues to be actively involved in this world. Jews believe in the importance of ethical behavior and following the commandments outlined in the Torah, which is the central text of Judaism. In Christian language, the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and Moses wrote these books. They are namely Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The Jews also believe in the 613 laws or commandments of the Torah, known as the mitzvot, and the most important of these laws are the 10 commandments, which was given by Hashem to Moshe, Moses, on Mount Sinai. The Talmud tells us that 248 of these commandments that was given to Moses by God are positive, and that the other 365 commandments are negative. These commandments cover a wide range of topics, including how to worship God, how to treat others, and how to live a moral and ethical life. Jews also believe in the concept of chosenness, which means that they also believe they are a special people, and that there is a covenant or relationship between them and the living God. This covenant is believed to have been established with the ancient Israelites, who received the Torah at Mount Sinai through Moses. Hashem is their husband, and Israel is his wife. The 10 Commandments is just merely a shadow of a marriage covenant between Hashem and Israel. Most people believe that the 10 Commandments are carved onto 2 stones, 5 on the one stone, and the next 5 commandments on the other stone. I believe it to be 10 commandments carved on one stone and 10 commandments on the other stone. Now, why do I say that? It's because God made a marriage covenant with Israel, and Israel received a duplicate of those 10 commandments. Jews also believe in the concept of tikkun olam, which means repairing the world. This concept emphasizes the importance of social justice, helping those in need, and working to make this world a better place. Now here it starts to get a little more complicated in Christian eyes. Jews believe in the feasts of the Torah, that is in the Old Testament, which is mentioned in Leviticus 23. These are the feast of Pascha, Passover, feast of unleavened bread, feast of first fruits, the feast of weeks, Shavuot, feast of trumpets, the Day of Atonement, or Yom Kippur, and the Feast of Tabernacle. Like Christians, Jews don't know that these feasts are all connected to the Christ. The Christians would rather celebrate the feasts of this world. Jews also believe in the physical circumcision, a covenant that Hashem made with Abraham in Genesis 17 verse 10 to 14. This is when a Jewish boy is born, and then after 8 days that he shall be circumcised, as known as Brit Milah or Bris. I'll be speaking more about this in a later section, and of how a Jewish child grew up, especially in the time of Yeshua, Jesus, when I get to baptism and circumcision in section 13. Another thing, the Jewish calendar also is not the same calendar as this world's calendar, which is known as the Gregorian calendar. This Gregorian calendar is named after Pope Gregory VIII, who decided to change this world calendar once more. Their calendar is known as a lunar calendar, that is, the Jewish calendar. Their calendar has to do with the moon, whereas the Gregorian calendar has to do with the sun. I call the Gregorian calendar a sun god worship calendar, because that is what it is exactly. The Jewish calendar, on the other hand, was given to Moses in Exodus 12 verse 2. Exodus 12 verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. This is all written in the Tanakh, the Old Testament in Christian language. Jews are also not allowed to eat unclean animals. Animals like pigs, prawns, swans, amongst others. This is written in Leviticus 11. They believe in a mikvah, which has to do with ritual cleansing, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, and so on, which I will discuss in section 13. Just a reminder that I'm speaking in general now about the Jewish beliefs here. There is more. Now, let me pause here for a second and go into a different direction on how a Jew thinks when confronted by a normal Christian and what they think of Christianity from the gathering of the different teachings that I have listened to. And this comes from Amir Tsafari, a Jew from the line of Judah, and a great teacher, I must add, especially to listen to, but when listening, always listen with discernment, as I always used to say. He also used to believe in just Judaism, and later found Christ became a Messianic Jew when he founded Yeshua in the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament. Now, do you know what a Jew thinks when they are confronted by a Christian? They basically think, you're not a Jew. Because you not being a Jew and don't have Judaism as your religion, you are not saved. Remember their mindset. God made a covenant with the Jews, not the Gentiles, unless, of course, you become a Jew yourself, like in those 3 criteria I mentioned earlier on in section 4. Who is considered a Jew? Wonder what they would think of a Messianic Jew, though, because the Messianics see the connection between the Old and the New Testament. Then again, Judaism does not accept any of the claimed fulfillments of prophecy that Christianity attributes to Jesus, Yeshua. A part of thinking this, Judaism also sees the worship of Jesus, Yeshua, as a form of idolatry, which is forbidden. Therefore, considering Jesus, Yeshua, divine, as God the Son, is also forbidden. Let me add a few more here from other teachings that I've listened to discussed by rabbis. Jesus or Yeshua was the one that created the New Testament or the Brit Chadashah. Jesus is the Messiah of the Roman Catholic Church. Israelis who endorse the belief that Jesus, Yeshua, is the Messiah or the Christ is not considered Jews by the chief rabbinate of Israel, nor by the Israeli government. They consider Yeshua, Jesus, was a Jew who lived in the early decades of the 1st century of the Common Era in Judea, believed himself to be a teacher, preached, and was crucified by the Romans, died, and was buried. End of story. This is their general beliefs. Now, did you ever wonder why Jews pray at the Western Wall? Because I know I have. The Jews pray at the Western Wall, which is also known as the Wailing Wall, because it is the only remaining part of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. This temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD by Titus. The Western Wall is considered the holiest site in Judaism, and it is believed to be the closest place to the Holy of Holies, the most sacred site in the temple. Jews pray at the wall as a way to connect with God, to express their devotion, and to mourn the destruction of the temple. It is a place of deep spiritual significance for Jews around the world. The building of the third temple is also considered of great importance to Jews because it is believed to be a key event in the fulfillment of biblical prophecy and the coming of their Messiah. According to Jewish tradition, the third temple will be a place of worship and a connection with God, similar to the first and second temples that stood in Jerusalem in ancient times. This temple is considered the holiest site in Judaism, and its rebuilding is seen as a symbol of the restoration of Jewish sovereignty and the redemption of the Jewish people. It is believed that with the rebuilding of this temple, that the Jewish people will be able to fully observe the commandments and rituals outlined in the Torah, and that it will bring about a time of peace, prosperity, and spiritual renewal. While the idea of rebuilding the temple is important to many Jews, there are also differing opinions and interpretations within the Jewish community about when and how this should be done. Some believe that the temple will be miraculously rebuilt by God, while others believe again that it will be rebuilt by human efforts. The building of the third temple is a significant and symbolic concept in Jewish tradition that holds deep and religious and spiritual meaning for many Jews. Overall, Judaism is a diverse and complex religion with a rich history and tradition that encompasses a wide range of beliefs, practices, and interpretations. We have now come to the end of this section, section 9. In section 10, I will discuss the symbol that represent Jews. Until next time, lots of blessings and shalom. Kyriakos.